My name is Tony Lajeunesse, CEO and President of TL Financial Group. One of the many special observances in the month of November is Family Caregiving Awareness. Now, nobody looks forward to discussing finances and elder care with their parents, but every family needs to do it. These tips will help you start the conversation now and get a plan in place before you urgently need it. Most of us have always thought of our parents as the people who took care of us. We didn't need to know how much money they earned or when they ate meals. But now things are changing. Statistics show that currently about 1/3 of the adult US population is providing care for another adult. That number is only going to grow as the population ages and life expectancies increase. Age takes its toll on everyone. For some, it may come in the form of dementia. For others, impaired vision or hearing. So everyone will need help as they age, including your parents and your other elderly loved ones. Having a caregiving plan in place is essential to prevent crisis from occurring. In order to create that plan, you should have a discussion with everyone involved, probably well before the care recipient starts declining. So the sooner, the better. First, form a team. No one can go through caregiving alone. Make sure that siblings and any other family or friends who might be a means of support are included in the discussion. While it might seem easier to have one person make all the decisions, this is not feasible in the long term. However, it is helpful to have a primary caregiver or at least someone who will lead the discussion. If sibling dynamics are an issue, many times it can be, consider meeting together before meeting with the parents. Discuss individual views and what each of you is willing and not willing to do. But remember, the seniors will have the final say. So work like a team. Next, be prepared. Don't insist that this conversation needs to happen in one big session. It might play out over a period of time, several weeks or even months. Decide what works best for your family. If you feel like your parents may get defensive, brainstorm some natural talking points to springboard the discussion. Otherwise, perhaps scheduling a specific family caregiving discussion with all who is involved and with all who is involved in the best way to move forward. Possibilities are endless so long as the conversation occurs. A key part of being prepared is knowing the options available. Look into the home care services and consider your parents' health. Do a bit of research about local assisted living facilities and their costs. This will help you make a better, more informed decision. Cover all the categories. A caregiving plan needs to include 4 areas of medical, legal, financial, and personal issues. Some of these questions can be answered in the first discussion, while others will require doing a deeper research or getting outside opinions. First, medical. Get a professional opinion on loved ones' health care and future prognosis. This will greatly affect decisions about the level of care needed now and in the long term. Gather information about health insurance policies, including Medicare and any long-term care policies. Second, legal. This is so important. Even though it might seem early, it's really critical to get decisions made and documents signed now while your parents or other elders are in a sound state of mind. Most important are a power of attorney and healthcare agent. These allow the care recipients to choose a representative who will act on their behalf in case of mental incapacity. Also important is estate planning. This is often a touchy subject, but there needs to be an up-to-date will, and all the accounts in the trusts need to have correctly titled beneficiaries, and the accounts need to be titled properly as well. Otherwise, financial wishes will not be honored, and the courts will distribute the estate according to the probate laws. So we definitely want to avoid that. Number 3, financial. Gaining access to your parents' financial life can be a particularly tricky topic to breach. It represents a real change of life and roles for older people that can be hard to face. They may not want you in your business. However, no one wants dementia to creep up on their parents or for them to be left vulnerable to scammers. Aging Parents, a blog and mediation service related to elder care, states that the approach is crucial for success with this subject. So they advise, put it on yourself that if something went wrong, you would be completely lost as to how to help them. Have an open and honest discussion about income and expenses, assets and liabilities. Be sure to find out who the financial professionals are in your parents' lives and how to contact them. You may need to consider taking over bill payments or monitoring the care recipients' accounts. Seniors are particularly susceptible to exploitation, so no matter how uncomfortable, the care recipients must have a plan to pay for care as they continue to age. And number 4, personal. Remember, this discussion is all about the care recipients. What are their personal preferences? Where do they want to live? You need to assure your loved ones that they will be able to maintain independence for as long as possible, and that everyone wants to make decisions that are best for them. While some may view it as somewhat emotional, it can be helpful to ask the seniors to write a letter detailing end-of-life wishes and the reasons behind their choices. This is also a good time to begin compiling a list of important documents and where they can be located, as well as accounts and their usernames and passwords. This information is so important to have. At the end of my video, I'm going to show you a little binder that we use for ourselves and also our parents. When resistance comes up, it's not really a question of whether resistance will be part of this conversation, but just how much and how to deal with it productively. If you anticipate it as part of the normal process of approaching this change of life, you need not see it as a huge obstruction. Just work through it gently and with understanding of your family member. The caregiving section of the AARP website offers this advice for getting conversations rolling in a positive direction. Try not to anticipate what your parents might say or how they're going to react. So for example, you might say something like, "Dad, let's talk about what you want down the road. Let's start with what's important to you." Also, make sure you express your love and concern, and most important, listen. For example, "Mom, have you thought about what you want to do if you need more help?" And also, refer to yourself and your own thoughts. For example, "I know this is hard, and I'm going to have to do the same thing for myself one day." And of course, be straightforward about the facts. Don't hide any negative information. For example, when you're driving, you could say, "I notice your reactions aren't as quick as they used to be, and I'm concerned about that. I don't want you to get into an accident." Make sure you phrase your concerns as questions, avoiding telling your parents what they should do. For example, "Mom, do you think you might want a hand with some of the housework?" Give your loved ones room to get angry, but remain calm. Example, "I understand all this is really hard to talk about, and at the same time, it's important for us to discuss." And finally, remember that a caregiving plan is just that, it's a plan. It prepares for the future and doesn't necessarily mean that anything will happen right away. It just means you don't want to be caught unprepared. My wife and I have an organized medical binder for our parents. My mom is doing really well today, but last year we were thrown into a situation where my parents needed our help really, really quickly. We knew we had to get organized just as quickly. So we organized all of her medical records into one binder. Now when she has a doctor's appointment, we bring that binder and update her information so that everything is current. It has been super, super helpful. And if you're able, I would encourage you to do the same. This is kind of what it looks like, and it's just a simple 3-ring binder. And inside of it, you have all these different tabs and folders to go through for all of your important information, medications, doctor visits, other things that might be related to their end of life, or even their estate planning and things of that nature. So really important to have lists. It has lists of doctors' names and financial advisors and estate planning, tax preparers, all of that is in there. So I'm able to grab that binder and know that it's up to date and able to share with the doctor the best course of action for my loved one. I hope that encourages you today. I hope you found this topic informative. I know it's not always an easy one, but the more prepared you are, the better off you will be. And as always, if you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me. Thanks a lot.